Tina Bell. Does anybody know who Tina Bell is? This is the creator of grunge rock. This beautiful sister is the creator of grunge rock. She predates Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. She is the one that created that sound, unbeknownst to her. Okay, so let's do. Oh, okay. Carlton Way knows her. Okay. That's what's up. Hey, listen. To be honest with you, Rose Gold, there's a couple motherfuckers that I would. You know what? A beheading would make my day. I wouldn't lose no sleep if I had to behead a few of these motherfuckers. Anywho, okay. Half a decade before Nirvana released their first album, Tina Bell and her band Bam Bam pioneered the combination of punk and heavy rock that would come to define grunge music. Okay? Let's see. Okay, now let me get to her. That is her. Let's go. Tina Marie Bell is considered to be the mother of grunge. Let's do this. Can we get into this? Come on. No, they're gonna hit me, but oh well.
Have you ever wondered who the very first grunge band really was? Well, if you guessed Green River, you would be wrong. I want you to picture a time before the internet, before all music was readily available to download, and before the massive cross-pollination of all genres. Before this, what would usually happen is that a new and exciting movement or a scene would start brewing underneath the surface. Journalists, photographers, and DJs would soon start to pick up on the excitement and start writing about it to generate buzz. And eventually, if a certain band was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time, they would rise to megastardom and become symbolic of this very movement or subgenre. But there is also a massive problem with this type of narrative. In retrospect, we only seem to treat the bands who were symbolic of a certain sound as the sole innovators of that particular genre, which they almost never were. There have always been creative masterminds in the underground who came way before them, who received not even half the recognition or the credit for their creative genius. These original creative masterminds almost always become a mere footnote in the story, if not ignored for their contributions altogether. And it is no secret that many of them were not the skinny white guys who figured out a way to repackage a movement and sell it to white teenagers.
Okay.
To quote Simon Reynolds of The Guardian, history is definitely not written by victors. There are dozens of bands who made landmark albums but never achieved more than an abiding cult status, earning the dubious consolation prize of being an influence and reference point for megabands. Hundreds more made just one or two amazing singles, then disappeared with barely a trace. Over decades of new rock movements and subgenres, the uncredited innovators behind this...
Watch how I debunk this. Watch how I debunk Sexy Red's point, just like this, with the snap of my finger. Sexy Red, do you know who Sister Rosetta Tharpe is? Sexy Red, do you know who Sister Rosetta Tharpe is? Because nobody says black women don't create anything. There's not a time in history when it comes to urban, black, anything, black women don't get their credit, right? You do know there were black women that helped build the atomic bomb, yes? So nobody says this stuff. But do you know who Sister Rosetta Tharpe is? I'll leave it at that. Let's continue with the lesson. Let's continue.
Scenes were often women, specifically black women. Before Little Richard and Chuck Berry pranced and waddled their way into the nation's hearts, and long before Elvis sent the public into collective hysteria by shaking his hips on live television, gospel singer Rosetta Tharpe was shouting into the heavens, flanked by a choir of backup singing men, ripping out these fat, intricate guitar solos, creating an entirely new sound that laid the foundation for rock and roll. In the punk scene, we had Polly Styrene, the quirky DIY zine maker, fashion icon, and exuberant frontwoman of the self-proclaimed deliberate underachiever punk band X-Ray Spex, who wrote satirical socio-political commentary about the construct of fame, authenticity, and identity, with a distinct saxophone Latin sound and Polly's distinct...
Wait, no, I don't, honestly. Okay, let's go ahead and say his name. Who says this? What black male content creator says that black women don't create anything? Who says that? Put his name in. Say his name. You can say his name. I don't. Yo, Wendy O was dope. What movie was that when she wait, what movie was it she was in? Was it like a Night of the Dead, Living Dead movie? Or no, Schoolgirls. No, prison. It was a prison movie. Wendy O was in a prison movie, right? Back in the 80s. No, not me. I'm saying who? Oh, Angry Man. That's what he said. Is it him that says that black women don't create shit? Is it him? Wait, Wendy O was in some like popular prison movie back in the 80s. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Like, she was this crazy ass white chick that did rock music, right? Yeah, Reform School Girls. Holy cow. Listen, anybody in the 80s, that was almost your first introduction into softcore porn. All my old heads remember Reform School Girls. She was naked, and that was like your first taste of softcore porn. I remember that shit. Yeah, we old as fuck. We old as fuck. Wait, so it was Angry Man that said that for real? Like, he said black women don't create shit? Are you serious? Wow. I thought he was smarter than that. Yeah, right? Reform School Girls. Hell yeah. Yes. Holy shit. Shame on y'all, all you weirdos.
Distinctive high-pitched yowls that would put John Lydon to shame. I talk a lot about feminist historical recovery in music on this channel, and I am eternally grateful to all of the hardworking archivists, record collectors, journalists, and scholars who are working tirelessly behind the scenes.
Okay, sis, I get it, but just get to the lesson. I get it. Shout out to a girl's 2 sound sense.
Catapult DIY music into the mainstream. With Riot Grrrl and the eventual explosion of Nirvana's Nevermind in 1991, and the subsequent success of Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, and Hole, just to name a few, indie labels like Sub Pop and Matador soon became household names.
With the copyrights.
And noise rock no-wave icons like Sonic Youth, although not from Seattle, still very influential, helped pave the way for later grunge pioneers like Mark Arm and Steve Turner's early grunge bands Green River and Mudhoney, before the eventual explosion of grunge, with Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit catapulting the subgenre into the mainstream. Or at least that's the cynical way of looking at it. But what if I told you that the wildly popular Seattle sound, made famous by white men in plaid shirts, cardigans, and knit hats, was actually started by a band that was led by a black woman? Well, that is true. And the fact that this band has been neglected in nearly every retelling of grunge, that is in no way the fault of people who weren't aware, because they essentially had no way of knowing. The story has been kept off the record for years.
I got some research to do. I gotta go on Spotify and be looking up some stuff.
French tutor to help her with the lyrics of C'est Bon Si for a Langston Hughes production. The ad was answered by a man named Tommy Martin. A few years later, Bell and Martin married and decided to start a band, which they formed alongside their close friend Scott Ledgerwood, aka Scotty Buttocks. The band came to fruition with Martin on guitar, Ledgerwood on bass, and Bell taking on lead vocals. Combining their surnames, Bell and Martin, into an acronym, Tina and Tommy called the band Bam Bam. They later recruited their drummer, a man named Matt Cameron, who you may know as the drummer of Soundgarden and Pearl Jam. With their sludgy guitar tones and off-kilter rhythms on songs like Ground Zero, Stress, and It Stinks, Bam Bam laid the foundation for a sound that wouldn't become wildly popular until nearly a decade later. Bam Bam was one of the first bands to record at CZ Records and Reciprocal Recordings. the place where Nirvana
Yes,
would later lay
Fifi
down the tracks for
Dobson,
what would become
yes.
bleach and incesticide. The Melvin
Wait, who? Fifi and the other girl from Canada. Who's the chick from Canada? There's the other black chick. She was on that vibe back in like early 2000s. Who was it? It was Fifi and somebody else. Damn it. Is she the one that dated Shia LaBeouf and was being abused by Shia LaBeouf? Was it Fifi? Then that's who I'm talking about then. I thought it was somebody else. Okay, let's continue. If somebody knows, please correct me. Let's go.
even opened for Bam Bam when Kurt Cobain was still touring as a roadie for them. As written by Jen B. Larson in PleaseKillMe.com, evidently the right people had heard Bam Bam, enjoyed them, and even recorded them. The band's recordings are solid, they're attractive and talented with a bombshell lead singer. So why wasn't Bam Bam included on Deep Six, the 1986 CZ Records Seattle Showcase compilation that featured Reciprocal's early grunge recordings? Unfortunately, I think we all...
Yes, FKA Twigs. Thank you, Roz. Yeah. It was FKA Twigs and Fifi Dobson. Yeah, those two. Yeah, FKA was the one with Shia. He was getting abused by Shia, but... Yeah, okay, gotcha. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Sharp crowd tonight.
All know the answer, an answer that many black creators know all too well. As Scott Ledgerwood said, America was certainly fucking not ready for a black girl up front in a hard rock band, let alone as a media sweetheart, no matter how gorgeous she was. As for Bam Bam being suppressed, there's probably several reasons, but race and gender clearly played a major role. The continued reluctance by Seattle to accept her is maddening. Part of it is that people are uncomfortable around the race issue. It's like kill the messenger when I try to talk to folks about it. According to many eyewitnesses and insiders who witnessed Belle's aura firsthand, she was an incredibly magnetizing, high-energy, exuberant, and regal figure. She had killer vocals, and the band played like motherfuckers. As a sludge metal proto-grunge band, you would think it would be common sense, a no-brainer, to acknowledge that Bam Bam played a vital role in shaping grunge history. But instead, barely anybody remembers them. And if you are one of the many people who hasn't heard of the band before, that is no fault of your own. There's virtually nothing about them on the internet, save for a few archived websites, a Facebook page, and a few YouTube videos. Tina Bell's Wikipedia page was recently deleted for, quote, lack of sourcing.
Wow.
The book Everybody Loves Our Town, A History of Grunge, doesn't even acknowledge Belle's existence, and Bam Bam is wrongly labeled as a three-piece. How does that even happen? How does one become so blind to what is right in front of them to the point where they don't even acknowledge the lead singer? Belle and Martin had a kid named TJ, who eventually grew up to be a filmmaker and won an Oscar for his documentary Undefeated.
And the Oscar goes to Undefeated, TJ Martin, Dan Lindsay, and Rich Middlemouse.
On the KEXP Sound and Vision podcast, TJ revealed the heartbreaking injustices that his mother continues to face, both in life and death.
Any of her, like, she was a writer and a poet and a vocalist. Gone. They threw it out. I didn't find this out until, because they threw it out immediately. I didn't get the call that she'd passed until like a week after or something like that.
Wow.
So when I come out there, I'm like, where's her stuff? And they're like, oh, it was contaminated, we had to throw it out. And they saved like a DVD player, a chair, and like a weird poster. That's it. So my brain can't help but take it here, but she continued to get disrespected even in death, right? Yeah. There's no way someone would do that if it was like a high-rise apartment, $1 million apartments. You ain't throwing out everything in someone's belonging, It's hard to come to terms with that, but it also makes me realize that she was privy of that the whole time. And that came out in the music, and that came out in her performance, and at a certain point, it got exhausting.
Because Tina Bell is no longer with us, that makes it that much more important to recognize her rightful place in the pantheon of Seattle rock. Her legacy is just as important as that of groups like Heart, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Nirvana, if not more. As Jen B. Larson so eloquently wrote, it's more than time to crown Tina Bell as the Queen of Grunge. And not just as a woke PR move, but because it's the truth.
All right, shout out to Girls 2 Sound Sense for this educational moment. That's sad, y'all. Man, fudge. That's messed up. Let's see what else. What did they say she died from? Okay, so our wiki's back up. Third of 10 siblings, oldest daughter. So she sang in the church. Like we all grew up in the church. Let's see. Died in Las Vegas apartment of cirrhosis at the age of 55. Bell had struggled with alcohol and depression. Her son TJ said the coroner estimated her time of death as a couple of weeks before the body was found. Damn. When Martin arrived at his mother's apartment in Las Vegas, all of her belongings except DVD player. Oh, that was the son talking. Had been thrown away. All of her writings, such as lyrics, poems, diary, along with Bam Bam music, videos, and other memorabilia, went in the trash without her family even being notified. Damn. Dubbed the godmother of grunge or queen of grunge. That's terrible. Okay, July 9th, 2021. Oh, that was my birthday. Oh, that's crazy. Seattle musicians from the tribute band and played a show at Central Saloon to honor Bell's legacy. Bad Brains, tribute band Reignition had the idea for the show. After Gayle King contacted her to do a story on Bell, the Bam Bam tribute had included musicians such as Matt Cameron, Kendall Jones of Fishbone, okay, Aaron Jones, and General Roccaforte, Pearl Jam guitarist Stone Gossard, okay, also participated, as did black women Joe Harvey selected, who were influenced by the Bell's music. Okay, that's what's up. That's sad though. Shit, that's sad. That is sad.